Today we are taking a look at Albedo from OVERLORD. This is the Albedo Aqua version from the MUTYUUTE Figure line by FuRyu. Today's highlights for this figure are the sheer outer layer and bold swimsuit, the stylized sculpt, and the body lines. The first highlight is the sheer outer layer and bold swimsuit. The white outer layer stays open across the front of the torso, leaving the navy bikini and a wide area of the body exposed through the center. At the chest, the two sections of the bikini are connected by a gold ring, while the lower edge of the outer layer is pulled outward by the fingers near the waist, making the separation between the two pieces especially clear. The second highlight is the stylized sculpt. The large horns extending beyond the face, the narrow yellow eyes, and the long strands curving around the face are all presented with clearly defined shapes. The proportions from the chest into the narrow waist and long legs are also strongly emphasized, while the long hair at the back is divided into broad sections that finish in large curved tips. The third highlight is the body lines. The shape narrows from the chest through the abdomen before widening again around the hips and thighs, with this continuous line visible through the open front of the outer layer. One leg extends downward, while the other is drawn backward, and the raised arm and the hand pulling the hem outward add separate lines around the central silhouette. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The head is built around a calm expression, with the face establishing the first impression before the horns and long hair expand the shape around it. The yellow eyes are narrow and outlined in black, with vertical pupils placed clearly at the center. The upper eyelids angle gently downward toward the outer edges, and fine eyelashes extend beyond the corners. Pink coloring spreads beneath the eyes and across the cheeks, while the mouth stays small and closed with a narrow red section below the nose. Thin eyebrows remain visible above the eyes through the surrounding bangs. The hair frames the face with several separate sections rather than one continuous mass. A broad, dark purple strand descends from the center of the forehead and passes between the eyes, while thinner strands fall beside the cheeks and continue toward the chest in loose waves. Large, pale yellow horns extend from both sides of the forehead and overlap the front area of the hair. Their bases are thick, and each horn gradually narrows as it curves outward beyond the outline of the face. At the top of the head, a single section of hair rises upward and forms a large loop before returning into the hairstyle. From the back, the hair becomes much larger and continues past the waist toward the thighs. Long grooves run down the surface and divide the mass into several broad sections, with a wider group occupying the center and narrower strands overlapping around the outside. Near the bottom, those sections separate into multiple pointed tips. Some curve inward while others spread outward, so the hairstyle keeps changing direction all the way to its lower edge instead of ending in one simple shape. The upper body is arranged around the contrast between the navy bikini and the sheer white outer layer that stays open across the front. The upper bikini is divided into two rounded sections covering the chest, and the two sides are connected at the center by a gold ring. The navy material gathers inward around that ring before spreading outward again across the chest. Around it, the white outer layer follows the outside of the body, leaving the swimsuit and exposed skin clearly visible through the center. Its front edges continue down beside the abdomen and toward the waist, with gentle folds appearing as the fabric changes direction. One arm rises above the head with the elbow bent sharply, bringing the hand close to the horn. A narrow silver ring and a wider gold accessory circle the wrist as separate pieces, and repeated raised divisions run around the gold section. The white sleeve expands away from the arm around the upper section and elbow, creating a fuller shape before ending at a softly waved edge. This keeps the exposed arm, the sleeve, and the wrist accessories visually separated from one another. The other arm bends down toward the waist and introduces a different line across the body. A separate silver ring circles the upper arm, while the white outer layer gathers around the arm below it. The fingers pinch the lower edge of the outer layer near the waist, narrowing the fabric directly beneath the hand before several larger folds spread outward from that point. Between the two arms, the abdomen remains exposed below the chest, with the navel near the center. The body narrows through the waist before widening again toward the hips, while the open outer layer continues to frame that line from both sides. The lower body continues the same navy and white outfit arrangement, with the lower section of the bikini sitting around the hips and the sheer outer layer overlapping it from the outside. The upper edge of the navy bikini runs diagonally from the lower abdomen toward the tops of the thighs. Around the waist, the white layer separates into a section that follows the body and another section that is pulled outward by the hand. The fabric becomes narrow where it is held between the fingers, then opens into several larger folds below, leaving the navy bikini and upper thigh visible inside that opening. On the other side, the white outer layer hangs downward along the body and continues toward the upper thigh. The navy color of the swimsuit remains visible through and beneath this area, so the boundary between the white outer layer, the darker bikini, and the exposed body stays easy to follow. From the back, the same white layer continues around the hips and upper thighs, while the long, dark purple hair descends over that area from above. The legs move in two clearly different directions without crossing. One leg extends almost straight downward from the thigh through the knee and lower leg, creating the longest continuous line in the lower half. The other leg bends at the knee and is drawn backward, separating it from the straighter leg in both depth and direction. The heel on this drawn back leg is raised and the toes point downward, with a wide gold ring circling the ankle and repeated divisions running around its surface. The straighter leg narrows toward the ankle before the top of the foot slopes gently toward the toes, which are individually separated in the sculpt. Together, the two leg positions keep the lower body open and give each leg its own clear line from the hips to the feet. This figure is approximately 21 centimeters tall. That's about 8.3 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Albedo by FuRyu stands out because this figure combines the large pale yellow horns, the navy bikini, and sheer white outer layer, long dark purple hair, and a pose that emphasizes the body lines from the upper body through the legs. The face leaves a calm first impression. The yellow eyes are narrow with vertical pupils and black outlines, while the upper eyelids angle gently downward toward the outer edges. Pink coloring across the cheeks and the small red mouth add softer details around the center of the face. The hair strengthens that presentation very effectively. A broad front section falls between the eyes, while thinner strands curve beside the cheeks and continue toward the chest. The large pale yellow horns extend beyond the outline of the face and add width around the head. At the back, the dark purple hair continues past the waist toward the thighs, dividing into broad sections before separating into several curved pointed tips near the bottom. The upper body works well because the outfit layout and the pose support each other closely. The navy bikini is connected at the center of the chest by a gold ring, while the sheer white outer layer stays open across the front and frames the exposed abdomen. One arm bends above the head, while the other comes down toward the waist and pinches the edge of the outer layer. The silver and gold accessories around the arms add smaller points of detail, and the fabric pulled outward at the waist spreads into several larger folds. The lower body gives the figure much of its appeal. The navy bikini continues around the hips, with the sheer white outer layer overlapping it and extending toward the upper thighs. One leg stretches almost straight downward, while the other bends at the knee and moves backward with the heel raised. The wide gold ring around the ankle adds another accent near the lower end of the figure, while the long line of the straighter leg continues cleanly toward the individually separated toes. What makes the figure especially effective is the way all of these elements connect. The eye can move from the horns and face through the chest and narrow waist, down into the long legs, and then return through the flowing hair and raised arm without feeling stuck. Because of that, fans of Overlord or Albedo will likely enjoy this piece very much. Collectors who like bold swimsuit arrangements, sheer outer layers, and poses that emphasize the body lines should find it a very satisfying addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.